And people are so excited about that. And you're not allowed to tell people about it.
Whoever has that TV in the back, just a little bit, just tap.
Mine is on pull.
Appreciate it. All right. Okay. All right. I think we are live. I believe. I think we're live. No, I don't see the. Hang on.
Hold on, it came over my phone.
I think it came up on mine.
Yeah, we're live. We're live.
Okay, 'cause I don't see. Oh, well, that's probably why. Okay. Welcome everyone to #Heels for Life Wrestling Podcast. This is the fan edition. So any topics that are huge, I bring some fans on / podcasters / promoters / wrestlers that wants to join in on the conversation tonight. So the conversation is about Velveteen Dream and his very interesting Instagram post today. I said what I had to say, so I will kind of give my 2 cents with the rest of the discussion on here. I'd like to thank Marie, Antoine, and Anthony Velvet Hall for coming on. So I want you guys to share the podcast, share it around. We're going to get started in about a few seconds. So just give me a moment. Let me just go on my. For some reason, this thing didn't come on yet. Maybe I need to close this out. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay. Hey, Corey, what's going on?
I'm going to the kitchen. Wow.
All right. And let me just share this around. Okay. Matter of fact, I think we're just going to go and get started. All right, everybody, enjoy the show. Get into the conversation. Share the podcast around. Tonight, we will be live on all streaming sites. Once again, we will be live on all streaming sites this evening. So, and also follow us everywhere that you can think of that's streamer related. Follow #Heels for Life. Let's have a good show.
Ten, nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hold up, #Heels for Life. Wanna welcome everybody, yeah, we gotta get it hype. Hey, every week talking wrestling, we get into it. Current events, even guests that we're interviewing. Hosted by Chris, KUSA, and Nappy Boy. Shout out to Ziggy, put the smack down, you can't ignore. The best you gon' find anywhere online. Tell the competition they about to get clothesline. Hold up, #Heels for Life. Let's go.
Welcome, everyone, to a special edition of #Heels for Life. I'm your host, Mr. Team Brigid. And these are fans, promoters, wrestlers, celebrities. Yes, I'm talking about Mr. Velvet Hall down here. So tonight, this is a fan edition reaction show that we have that I just come on with fans and others alike. And we are here to talk about Mr. Velveteen Dream and that interesting Instagram post that he left, explaining his reason of why he didn't defend himself about the WWE, about how he was defamed and blah blah blah. I had a lot of mixed reactions today. Some people agree with me, some people disagreed. Some people actually agreed with Velveteen Dream that he was basically wrongfully terminated from the WWE. But there was a lot of potholes in his story, so we're going to get into that in a little bit. But just a little bit backstory of Velveteen. Velveteen has been in the WWE, I believe, for the past maybe 8 years, maybe even close to 9 years. First, he was in Tough Enough for the tryout, but he never won. But his flamboyant attitude really got him over. Plus, he was very talented in the ring. Also, he had a mouthpiece. He was an asshole. He was known to be an asshole in the back. He went to NXT. He shined when he was in NXT. He was like really destined to be a WWE champion. Problem was that he was facing some issues both backstage. Someone even said that he had some cameras in the back and photographing and videotaping some wrestlers, but they didn't mention who. They just said that he just did some very inappropriate things in the back. Also, he was talking on the DMs to some fans or whatever that were trying to be wrestlers. He tried to help them. They turned around and they said that they gave him a dick pic and blah blah blah. Later down the road, WWE did investigate, but they did a sloppy ass job. They just said, "Well, we didn't see anything," so they let him go. And then the next thing you know, Velveteen Dream was on TV. He disappeared, and here we are. He was terminated a couple days ago. No explanation from the WWE. It was just, I guess everything that was building up, and then the WWE just let him go. So tonight, we're going to sit here. We're going to talk about it with other folks that's watching right now. Marie, I want to start with you first because Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, I went to a lot of local shows, and I've actually watched his career. When I first met him, he was a security guard for one of the local wrestling shows, and he was always like very nice. And like when I heard these accusations, I was actually shocked because I've never had a bad experience with him. Like my son, he has a lot of psychological issues, and like him and Leo Rush, because at the time him and Leo Rush were a tag team. They were Sudden Impact at that time at MCW. And like they were real big with the fans and everything like that. And then when I was reading today on Instagram, I was really shocked about it because I heard, back when it first came out that he had did this, and I had discussions with other people too. And I'm like, I don't believe it. Like a lot of people do that when somebody's coming up to make accusations. But now seeing that it's out, and like you said about his story that he posted on Instagram, it's kind of believable. I think, he did do it.
So you think he did?
I mean, like, just the holes in the story of everything. Like, I mean, once you get big, a lot of fame goes to your head and you think you can do things and, it's okay. But there's also a lot of other wrestlers who've also been accused of things. So it's like you're on a line on what to believe and what not to believe.
That is true. Antoine, you are next. Go ahead and speak your piece.
I'm not really a fan. Like, I've been here before, and I haven't been like a WWE fan, like backing them up. But they had to do what they had to do because he was a liability. You know what I'm saying? If he was so toxic, like. If he wasn't so toxic in the locker room, maybe he'll have some backers that help him out. But like, nah, he's not that type of person, and XYZ. But he remind me like, okay, like case in point, like Barry Bonds. He had no friends.
I'm
So
trying to
when he was what's the word? When he was accused of all that stuff, nobody can back him up. So nobody can back up Velveteen Dream right now. And what I say about the WWE, which they need to do, real talk, is these up and coming these wrestlers or superstars, you want to call them. They need to teach them how to conduct themselves on the internet, like social media wise. You know what I'm saying? And this is not just wrestlers. This is like all sports figures, period. They need to learn how to, interact. Because after a certain status, you're not a person anymore. You're a brand.
That's true. That's very true.
Brand. You know what I'm saying? And you're that brand 24/7. So
Now,
you're out there doing outrageous stuff on the internet. It comes with receipts.
Now, with that being said, I don't want to kind of go off the subject, but I think Lee or Mi Yum, or I believe she's dating Keith Lee. Yeah. So she made a comment and she said that what Keith Lee does or his status in the company is no one's business. The first minute you decide to be in the public eye, that is our business.
Yeah.
Now, I get that. I get the part because she's trying to defend her soon-to-be husband. I get it. But at the same time, don't come on social media and then say that this is none of our business and everything that you do is in the public eye. Feel me? So with that being said, we'll get on Keith Lee in a minute, but the whole thing with Velveteen Dream,
He's doing too much.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He's doing too much.
He did way too much. And I think he exposed himself a little bit too much as well. Because all of them videos, and all of them the messages with all them underage people. I mean, what the fuck do you expect? I mean, what the hell? I mean, the shit is sickening. Now, a lot of folks like Velveteen Dream, defending him, saying that, he was wrongly accused, they didn't find him guilty and blah, blah, blah. But what about this other shit that we seen? What about this other shit that was put out there on airspace or whatever? I mean, because if somebody telling me that I'm sticking my finger in somebody else's booty hole and I know that that's not even the truth, I think I'm going to defend myself. I don't think I'm going to sit on the sidelines and pretend that this shit is going to go away. And the shit didn't go away. This shit got worse and worse and worse while he was on TV. So my question to you is that where does he go from here?
Not AEW, I know. He's probably going independent. He's a rapper. And then the worst part about it too is he doesn't own the name Velveteen Dream. So what he's going to call himself now?
He'll probably go back to his real name. That's what he was under in the local shows. He was under actually Patrick Clark. So he might. Leo Rush ain't with WWE anymore. So maybe they'll get back together as a tag team and do independent shows.
But I got a question
he was
too.
16 when he started wrestling too. He was real young when he first started off.
I got a question too. I heard, and I don't know if it's true or not. I heard because we know Velveteen Dream is like a persona of Prince. I didn't know he didn't know who Prince was until he picked up the Velveteen Dream. Yes. Yeah. He did not know who Prince was until he picked up the Velveteen Dream persona. So he had to study. Yes, I read that. I was like, what? You didn't know who Prince was?
Okay. Oh my God. I just had a fucking blind moment there for a second. Okay, so let me see if I can get this right. So you didn't know who Prince was, but you took the persona.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you not know who Prince is? That's like saying you don't know who the fuck Michael Jackson is.
That's basically what I'm hearing, that he didn't know who Prince was until they gave him the idea of Velveteen Dream. And he's like, all right. And then he's like, all right, let me mimic this dude. I'm like, you don't know who Prince is? Really? Damn.
I mean, he had him down to a T.
That's what I said. I said, if that's the case, he did a brilliant job in a short period of time.
Right. Yeah. that I think that shit is crazy. Now, going back to your comment about AEW. Now, I think you were trolling when you said that. Not everybody needs to go to AEW.
You got that right.
You know, especially a pedophile, alleged.
Alleged.
You say that
Charlemagne
allegedly.
alone.
A
Leave
pedophile. I don't want to I don't want to come out there and and just say that he's a fucking full-blown pedophile and it's haven't been proven in courts.
Yes.
But like the viewers, I'm reading this shit and I'm sitting up here. I'm like, you didn't know who Prince was? You said that you were trying to help this fan, but you didn't know you didn't know him from Adam for Eve. I mean, like, what's going on with this? I'm like, okay, you have probably 1,001 fans hitting you up, and you decide to pick this particular one. Why? Because he looked good. I mean, what was y'all doing? Trading nipple pics? I mean, like, what's good? I'm just trying to figure out like what was so cool or what was so attractive about this particular boy that you had to pick, and then someone said that he was trying to groom him. What?
Wow.
So that's either here or there. Let's keep going around the room, Mr. Velvet. Now, on our last, discussion about Velveteen Dream, you really didn't care for him too much. So I don't know if you want to kind of go back. I don't want to put you on the hot seat, but you literally are. But still,
no, we good, man.
Okay, cool. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, we had discussion. I said, hey, look, if you don't feel comfortable talking about it, you'll have to talk about it. But I want to kind of, okay, cool. So I want to hear what was your background or what was your, interaction with Velveteen before he got into the NXT.
Okay, well, for years, since starting in like 2005, I wrestled under the name of Velvet Jones, and that's where the velvet came from. And my persona was that of a pimp, and I dressed in all purple, and I called myself the Purple Pimp Daddy. It was actually a name given to me. So during
I want to ask why, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Keep going. Keep going.
So but no, so as I'm doing my thing and wrestling and all that kind of stuff, I saw I got a friend request from a guy named Patrick Clark who wrestled in MCW. And so I befriended Patrick, and we got to be pretty good friends, talking on the internet and everything. And he asked me for advice on certain stuff, and I give it to him. So when I saw he was on Tough Enough, I was like, oh man, he made it to Tough Enough. That's cool. I was like, that's real cool that he made it to Tough Enough, because I'm not certain if my trainer Bill DeMott was on that episode with him or not. I'm not certain, but I know Patrick was on it. I was like, okay, it's cool to see what's going on with him. And so I saw the way he carried himself during Tough Enough and everything, and the way he was kind of, exuberant, getting all in people's faces, and it rubbed a lot of folks the wrong way. So in spite of all that, when he got eliminated, it surprised a lot of people, but it's crazy the way things come full circle, because his attitude had a lot to do with him getting dismissed. It was nothing in regards to his skills or what he could do in the ring.
Right.
So after he got dismissed, I sent him something on social media, told him to keep his head up. It was pretty long and well thought out and all that kind of stuff, just trying to give him some words of encouragement, because he was down when he got kicked off the show. So when I did this, I pretty much got like a small thank you note from his mom, and she was like, thank you for the encouraging words, blah 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 blah. So it wasn't until I saw that they brought him back, and he was calling himself the Velveteen Dream and wrestling in all purple. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious, Patrick? Like, bro, like, you call yourself Velvet and you're dressed in all purple, and you know me, bro. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is crazy. So, when all that happened, he unfriended me, and I didn't hear anything else from him again. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. So, in spite of all that, I never wished anything bad on him as far as his career, because you could see him developing as a performer. the person behind the performer you really didn't know except for what you got from Tough Enough. So I didn't know what kind of person he was, or if he had grown as a person. So jumping back to what was said earlier, I know it was spoken that WWE needs to train their wrestlers when they get to a certain level or a certain status. And the truth of the matter is WWE actually has that. That's a class, and that's something that they actually have for younger wrestlers, because it's part of your contract with WWE.
Your media training, right?
Yeah, it's media training, but you also have a responsibility that they give you to promote WWE. That's actually part of what you do. And all that is taught in classes once you become a WWE superstar. So they do have that.
Oh, I didn't know that. No. The reason I brought it up is because, like, the rookies in the NFL, they starting to do that now.
Yeah. And see, they see what it is. It's like life coaching, because it's not just attitudes. It's talking about money and money management and all that. It's a lot of different stuff. And I saw this because Triple H actually talked about it one time. They had a small business summit during one of the WrestleMania weekends where they brought in all the partners like Snickers and Mars and Sprite and Pepsi and all that kind of stuff, and had them all sitting down and was talking to them. And what they were trying to do, they was trying to groom new sponsors. And one of the ways they did it was by telling people that they had these classes that they were going to have these new people in. So it was something that was said. But as far getting back to not to go all around the world just talking about the allegations and all that stuff with Velveteen Dream, I try to look at stuff the glass half full, but I will say this: the evidence is damning. Okay, as far as Velveteen Dream goes, he should have been a lot more responsible. As far as, instead of taking such a personal interest in somebody wanting to be a WWE superstar, there are avenues for that. Send them to the main office, send them to talent relations, give them the email, give them the address and all that kind of stuff. Maybe some people think they can get it in and all that, but at the same time, you got to really wonder about people's motivation when, they're asking for help in certain situations, especially over social media. Because, just a strange person, just asking for help, that's weird. And the thing about success is the thing that I always say, no matter who you are, everybody's got a vice. Everybody's got some kind of vice, whether your vice is food, whether your vice is sex, whether your vice is drugs. Everybody has something that they like to do that they know if they do too much of it, it could be dangerous. And
success just broadens it out.
Yeah, exactly. And success exposes who you really are. It just amplifies, it turns the volume up. So with Velveteen Dream, I think maybe this is something that was always in him. I can't really say, but it wouldn't surprise me. I just think that now that he has the success and the notoriety, he thought that maybe that would be a smokescreen for him to be able to do it and get away with it. And so I hate.
Why would you think you get away with it? Your Velveteen Dream.
I know, but
on your Instagram.
That's true, but at the same time, and that's my logic. I don't know. You probably have to ask him yourself. But that from being on the outside looking in, I know people that have bad habits, and once they get a hold of money, or once they are able to do more of it, they just amplify it and they do more of it.
Look at R. Kelly.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying,
and that was the worst kept secret. Him and Bill Cosby.
I know, man.
But like R. Kelly did it right in front of you, and people didn't give a fuck. Velveteen Dream might as well be in that same situation.
You know what it is? Because as just like R. Kelly, in the early 90s, nobody was touching R. Kelly. There was a time in NXT. There was a time in NXT nobody was touching. Velveteen Dream was the best performer in NXT at the time. Nobody was touching him. So,
and he knew that.
And that's what I'm saying. He knew that, just like R. Kelly knew that. Now, when he's off television and you're still doing the same stuff and you're not, as bright. Now they starting to see your flaws. Same day with R. Kelly. When R. Kelly wasn't the hottest thing going on, even though we knew about the Aaliyah and all the other stuff, when he was no longer the #1 R&B artist, we started to see more of his imperfections. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was in our face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, R. Kelly had me scratching my head. Man. He had me scratching my head when he's 50 plus on a Chris Brown song, talking about most of the time you find me in club popping models and popping bottles and chasing models. Man, you about to be somebody's grandfather. Sit your old ass down.
I mean, somebody's grandfather.
For real. Like seriously, that's crazy. But I mean, just but yeah, I mean that's the whole thing with Velveteen Dream, man. I mean he's a young man, you know, and it was to have that much, you know, to be getting the kind of money that I'm sure he was getting from wrestling with WWE. I was hoping that maybe he might have put some away and probably established something else just in case wrestling didn't work out. And that's something a lot of wrestlers don't do. A lot of wrestlers, I mean, it's guys I know in their 50s spending their weekends in National Guard armories and middle schools and stuff, just still wrestling. You know, it's crazy.
To piggyback on that, I'm thinking of our new breed of superstars and our new breed of wrestlers are are learning how to handle a business outside of wrestling. So you see it a lot more who's retiring earlier, but that's why I don't like what WWE's doing, because you're starting to see how, especially with like the Twitch situation and all that stuff, and they was making money other avenues. Yeah, and WWE was locking them down. I hated that for that. I'm like, yo,
I did too. I really did.
Let them eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it was so crazy. Was like, I don't know. You saw the interview with Undertaker with Stone Cold, and he said something that pissed me off. And he said something. He's like, all these new wrestlers out there, they playing video games and all that other stuff. I was like, what do you expect them to do?
I heard that. Yeah.
I said, what do you expect them to do? You expect them to go to the bar and get drunk and high like y'all did in the 80s and 90s?
Man, no, shoot, when I hear that, man, the first thing I think about is Bret Hart when he talks about how WWE used to come down so hard on people smoking weed. Like they really came down on them. But when you had them guys sitting in the room smoking weed, they didn't bother nobody. They wasn't out in the street. You better
hope that's all they was doing was weed.
Well, whatever it was, they weren't getting in no trouble. But if they could get in trouble, it stayed in that room, you know. Yeah. And now you got these guys out here, they just doing any and everything and going everywhere and doing it. So yeah, I mean, like for Undertaker and you know the him and Godfather and all them other guys, Yokozuna that was rolling with that crew and everything, you know, I mean, some of them learned from the best, like the Road Warriors and the Freebirds, you know. They taught those guys how to do it. But now, you know, as times change and stuff and penalties start becoming more severe, you had to sit your ass down somewhere, you know, and that's just how it is.
And not even that, these younger cats, they're learning how to take care of their bodies more and stuff like that. Because, you know, back then their schedules was real hectic. They're doing like 8 shows a week. Yeah. They doing 8 shows a week, and a lot of them was taking pills and stuff just to get by because they was in pain. Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with WWE is that they pick their battles. They shouldn't do that. If you're going to treat this person like this, then you need to treat all of them like that. You can't just say, okay, well, I'm not going to treat him this way because he's great friends with Vince McMahon, or I'm not going to treat him like this because he's the best in the business. You know, that type of shit I think is like really bullshit. And how they was like just letting us believe that Velveteen Dream was going to get pushed, and they was just having him sitting at home collecting checks. Mm-hmm. And I mean, because his last one was against, what was that?
Adam Cole.
And then we didn't even see him again.
Yeah. Well, and that's like I said, I'm not defending WWE, but they might know more stuff than we do right now. Maybe it was like, all right, let's sit him down to see if this thing blows over, and it never blew over. And it was like, okay, this dude's a liability. We have to let him go. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because even case in point, look at that crap they did with Hogan. They fired Hogan, right? They wait till that thing blew over and they rehired him again.
Hell no, that shit never ever blew over.
Well, in their minds, it blew over. In their minds, it blew over.
But the reason why they treat Hogan the way they treat him is because number one, he's just as white as that wall, and number two is because this man has brought them a whole bunch of fucking money. This man is God. to everyone that watched Hogan in the 80s,
but
90s,
check it out,
2000s, whatever.
It's not 1985. This is not the first WrestleMania no more.
Well, you need to tell Vince McMahon that shit.
Hold up. You got a lot more superstars that are bringing a whole lot more money. Don't
Like
get it
who?
twisted. Huh?
I'm
I'm not talking about wrestlers now. I'm talking about wrestlers who,
I'm about to say, because I'm trying to.
No. Okay. But check this out. Look at the last WrestleMania. After all that stuff with wrestling, who's the only one that got booed religiously in WrestleMania? Hogan.
Well, he deserved it. He deserved it.
And I'm not gonna say he didn't, but you know what I'm saying? You brought him there thinking that you're gonna get a big pop, and all they did was boo that man.
WWE has a history of doing that. People doing crazy stuff. Why do you think Pat Patterson had a long career? When he was up there touching them boys and all that kind of stuff, and he got sent to, they had that trial, and then when WWE paid off the judge and the lawyers the same way they got Jimmy Snuka off.
Shit like that.
Thank you.
Shit like that.
And I mean, and I love Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big Jimmy Snuka fan.
No,
but
fuck him, because that motherfucker was a murderer. For real. Yeah. And then Pat Patterson, he another motherfucker that was playing with little boy booty holes.
I was about to say that. I was just about to say. I was like, hold up. I don't know what was worse, the Pat Patterson situation or the what's her name? The female wrestler. What's her name?
Paige.
Oh, you talk? No. You talking about Mae Young?
No, Mae Young.
Muda. Yeah.
Yo, when I heard that stuff about Muda, I was like, yo. And the only reason they changed the name because they was getting so much flack from like Snickers and stuff.
Because this bitch was a madam.
I know, but I'm saying like they probably knew that for years.
Of course they did. Yeah, they knew. It's what you just said. That the WWE knew this shit. They knew that Jimmy the Fly Snuka. They knew he was a fucking murderer.
They knew about Jimmy Superfly Snuka. They knew about Pat Patterson because, like I said, I'm a man of a certain age. I remember that on the Donahue show. They brought all the accusers on the Donahue show.
Barry O. Vince McMahon,
and they named what's his name? They named old boy by name many a times. Pat Patterson many a times.
But you know who also caught it for that?
If you notice, he never did he ever get fired from the company? He never got fired.
He never got fired.
Yeah, they released him, and then when they got back when he was acquitted, they hired him back. But here's the crazy thing is, look, it was Pat Patterson, it was Terry Garvin.
Yep.
But most importantly, it was Mel Phillips.
Yeah.
And Mel Phillips is the guy who pretty much has set the precedent for any African American man involved in a domestically violent or sexually explicit conversation. Because I know Rich Swann. I know Rich Swann. I know Rich Swann. I've done shows with Rich Swann. But remember when he and his wife got in trouble and they started fighting and they eliminated him. And I got into it with a lot of wrestlers about that because they were like, well, you shouldn't expose that. You shouldn't say anything. But I didn't. News, like national news was talking about it. Like they was coming at me like, that's part of the business. You shouldn't say anything about it. I was like, okay, since you telling me what I shouldn't say, why don't you say something good about the man in his defense? And not one wrestler that jumped on me said a damn thing. I was the only one tooting the horn for Rich and saying he's a good guy, he's a cool dude, and all this kind of stuff. I don't know what happened, but I know the Rich Swann that I know, and he's a good person. And eventually everything worked out for him because he's doing this thing in Impact Wrestling. But that's just how it is. Like from Rich Swann to Mel Phillips, now the Velveteen Dream. It's a crazy pattern. But you know, especially in having worked in corporate America and being an African American man and knowing that I'm qualified to do certain things and getting passed over by somebody they bring in on the street.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I know how it is. So you know, you gotta walk a certain way, you gotta talk a certain way, but you gotta
be above and beyond.
Yeah, you gotta be you gotta work twice as hard to be.
You got twice hard to do half the work.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about Velveteen Dream. You knew that. You know what I'm saying? You knew that. You know, you was already behind the 8 ball because of the color of your skin. You was a brilliant performer, stay in your lane. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane. You up there doing too much behind closed doors. Because as soon as they, like I said, I'm surprised WWE held them that long. I'm not even being
I'm surprised
real.
too.
Because and I'm talking about when they was doing all them cuts and stuff, I was waiting to see Velveteen Dream's name on it. I'm like, damn, they ain't cut him yet. Cut him yet. I was shocked. Like,
so I do have a question, and this is for you, Antoine, and Anthony. You know, me and you get into like heated debates over the police, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why it seems that y'all have a code, wrestlers have a code of this secrecy shit that I just don't understand. And it's like they need to understand that what you do in the dark will come to light.
All right.
And what Velvet just said not too long ago kind of makes me a little bit iffy about the wrestling business as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, my whole thing is, it's like, okay, so you know that this man potentially could be innocent, but then you saying that, oh, well, I got some information, but you shouldn't put that out there on the airways. I mean, like, what? Like,
okay.
I don't understand why this is like some type of secret society where they don't want the business to be exposed.
Okay, well, I can speak on my end. You don't want to rock the boat, right? You don't want to be that person ostracized. You feel what I'm saying? You don't want to be that one person climbing the mountain by yourself. You feel what I'm saying? So, like you were talking about the Rich Swann situation. It was thankfully it ended up that it ended up in his favor and stuff like that. But you don't know how hard it is to defend a person like that, and you don't know all the facts because you don't want your name connected to something. Let's say I'm back at Rich Swann. Yeah, he's totally innocent and all this other stuff, and then you find out 6 months later, damn, I can't remember the name. The WCW wrestler. It was, and I think he's doing life in jail right now. There's a black guy too. He actually held
Hardbody Harrison.
Thank Hardbody Harris. He had all them female wrestlers in his house as hostages.
Yeah.
Yo.
What?
Yeah, Google that.
Yeah.
And there's a brother
Hardbody
too.
Harrison.
Yeah.
Was that also on Dark Side of the Ring?
No, they should make an episode of that. Yeah, the brother.
I mean, look, that might be on season 4. I mean, shit.
Yeah, he basically was grooming female wrestlers. Talking about like he was teaching them the wrestling business, but he actually had them captive in his house.
You know, Velveteen Dream was down that road too because he was talking about he was trying to groom these little boys that he was trading dick pics with or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, but I'm just trying to figure out like why did WWE try to hide this whole story, and they knew that this shit was gonna come out. They knew that this shit wasn't gonna blow over. I think the main reason why they got rid of him because he is black and he is a liability, and they use that shit as a scapegoat, talking about, oh no, we believe him, and then the next thing we know, he's off television and now he's fired.
I think it's a combination of certain things. One, of course, race does play a factor in it, but at the same time, when you work for a corporation, they got conduct clause, character clauses, and stuff like that. So you got to really be mindful of that. And that it don't matter what color you are, they do that. But at the same time, as far as
because Randy Orton's still around.
Yeah, I know. And that's it.
Jackson Ryder is still around.
Yeah, Jackson Riker. You right about that. But
yeah, he's
at the same, it's a lot of
around. He's on television.
It's different strokes for different folks, man. Like for real. That's just there's nepotism, there's favoritism in wrestling. You know, it's a lot of that. So, and it depends on the corporation. But I mean, once again, WWE is a corporation, they're a conglomerate. They do things that are publicly traded, and so they got to make themselves more appealing to people who looking to buy shares. So if you are doing something that causes them to be seen in a bad light to potential customers, then they cut you loose.
Well, but
And it's a lot of it. A lot of it saving
you
place.
actually hit something right there because maybe it wasn't WWE per se decision to let Velveteen Dream go. Maybe it was the shareholders.
Thank
or
you.
maybe it
That's
was the network.
Oh,
They may be
Peacock.
shareholders.
Maybe because I mean, you know, number one, Fox. You know what? We're not going to even get into Fox right
No,
now.
listen.
Mm-mm.
Listen. When WWE, real talk, and I'm telling you, WWE compromised themselves, and this is recently within the last 3 or 4 years. They compromised themselves when they took that bag from Fox, when they took that bag from Peacock, and God help you when they was taking them damn Saudi money. You know what I'm saying?
That blood money.
They were taking that blood money, and we knew back then what them Saudis were doing. No disrespect. And yet, and what got me so damn tight is when they killed that damn journalist, and you was still sending them shows out there.
And you send them shows, and that's why I said the WWE is very suspect on a lot of fucking
they
levels.
beyond suspect, son. Remember the last show before the pandemic, and like the only people that got out was Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar, and everybody else was stuck there.
Yeah.
This what got me mad. I'm up there like, okay, yo, if anything, you should have stayed, not even for the protection of your wrestlers, but the protection of your female wrestlers. You know how they treat females in Saudi Arabia. So you left Natty and all them there. God help them. But you're back, and in the United States, you and Brock Lesnar. That was the crazy stuff. If I was a WWE performer, when I went back to the United States, I would quit. I was like, nah, I'm done with this nonsense.
So let's kind of answer some of these comments real quick. So Corey Francis said that, but guys, is there any proof of Dream actually doing those accusations? Number one, and this is, we can go around the room and the guys and the gals can answer this. Let's take a look at R. Kelly real quick. This man was fucking damn near fucking 30, and he's dating a 14-year-old. But yet they don't call him a pedophile. But yet he's doing pedophile things. Velveteen Dream, why the fuck his dick pic is out there? Why? So you telling me, you sitting there, you telling me, oh, well, then what's the accusation? Come on now, the proof is in the pudding. What? Now, I understand that some of you guys love Velveteen Dream. At one point, I did too. Matter of fact, I was one of his biggest fans. But if I'm sitting up here and the evidence is being presented to me, and I mean, what do you want me to say? Because number one, this is not an OJ trial. Everybody know that he cut up Nicole. Come on now. You know,
we ain't stupid.
I mean, come on now. We're not stupid. And like wrestling fans, it's not stupid. Even though y'all motherfuckers act like y'all stupid, but you know you're not stupid. Now, the whole thing with Velveteen Dream, there were potholes in that story. Look, I had to read that shit a couple of times. I had to go over my fucking 15-minute break. You know what I'm saying? I had 2 15-minute breaks today, and I went over to 26 minutes.
Hey,
you know,
Chris, you're talking about wrestling fans who still to this day defend Chris Benoit.
We ain't gonna even talk about that right
now. I'm just saying.
We ain't gonna even talk
You're talking
about that right
people who still to this day, and don't get it twisted. Before that day, Chris Benoit was probably one of my top 3 wrestlers of all time. I can't even watch one of his matches anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can't listen to an R. Kelly song anymore. I can't do stuff like that. When like I said, listen, it takes 20 years to build your reputation. It takes 10 seconds to kill it. When I find out that you did something, I watched you out. I can't do it.
Now, okay, getting to this comment, okay, Corey said that it could have been hacked. Okay, yes, that is true as well. Okay. However,
at this point, I think Corey just trying to find ways to defend.
We're not going to do that tonight. We're not going to do that shit tonight.
Okay.
Because number one, that might be true. So you telling me that dick pic was not his? How the fuck did it get to somebody else's phone? So you telling me that somebody was in his bathroom and was doing like little shots? I mean, like
Okay.
what's good?
Okay, and I got and listen, I got another thing.
Dude, like
I got a question though. Did the picture, was it over his phone or was it doing like Instagram? Did he send it through Instagram?
it was a D. I mean, I guess it was.
Yeah, okay, it was a DM, it's through Instagram. So isn't his Instagram monitored by WWE?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
When you
all
are
of them
hired by
is.
WWE,
Thank you.
you give them control of all your social media.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So even if it was hacked, WWE had knowledge of this. You know what I'm saying? Can I get a well? Thank you.
Yeah.
They probably knew about that before
Wow.
we did. Because
Now
listen,
you can't sit
listen,
here
listen,
and say
listen,
that
listen.
what Antoine is saying is not true, because the WWE controls everything: your social
Everything.
media, your life, everything. The pot you piss in. I mean,
Listen.
come on now.
Listen,
Wow.
Thea Trinidad lost her job because of her Twitch thing. And I follow her on Twitch. All she was doing playing video games.
You better preach.
All she would do. Listen, that's why you don't see AJ Styles no more on Twitch. I used to love watching all these wrestlers on Twitch
And you don't
because
see
they was
New Day
like, it was the
doing theirs
closest to
either.
their real self. And
Mhm.
WWE shut all that down. So you want to tell me that WWE didn't know about that dick pic? Get out of here, son. Real talk. Hold up.
Exactly.
Hold on, they got
Exactly.
hacked, son. Hacked? Get
I
out
don't
of here,
think that.
son.
I don't
they can
believe.
hack.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
I don't
I'm not
believe
buying
it was
that.
dude.
I'm not
Yeah.
buying that.
And if it got hacked, WWE would have gave him a new damn what's name?
Yeah.
They gave him
like
a
with the
handle. Yeah,
quickness.
they gave him a new
Like
account.
that with the quickness.
Yeah.
But also, let's
Yeah.
talk about them conversations too. And let's talk about the conversation. Let's talk about the accusations. The accusations down in Florida. Remind you, he lives in Florida. So there are laws about, you know what I'm saying, like dating a minor. I think you can date a minor and they could be 16, correct?
Yeah, it depends on the state.
Statutory,
Right.
yeah.
See, that's the thing. Each state is different. So, like, here
That's
in New York,
sickening.
a minor is 17. Sometimes some places down south is 16.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even places you might marry a 15-year-old with parents' permission, even though that's sickening. But yeah,
That's just okay. So Corey, I'm not trying to come down on you. I'm just saying that use common sense, bro. Like for real. Like
listen,
don't think that just because like he was like, you know, he was found not guilty by the WWE does not mean that Velveteen Dream was not guilty. Okay? Because like all of the evidence
ask OJ
points
that
to-
for real.
all the evidence is like right in your face. This is the fact of, are you going to absorb it or are you just going to toss it aside? See, when you do shit like that, you get your Michael Jackson accusers and saying, well, look, I know that you did it, but if you give me like $1 million, I'll shut the fuck up and I won't say nothing.
Well,
R. Kelly.
that's kind of iffy too.
R. Kelly.
No. I'm saying this because you brought up Michael Jackson. It's been proven that the first two accusers of Michael Jackson made up that story.
Yeah, I watched that whole documentary.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
But-
been
I
proven.
knew he was lying from the beginning.
But-
That they were lying from the beginning,
And
and basically Michael Jackson just paid them off. And that's another thing we have to
That's
get out of our head.
bullshit. That's bullshit. Because
No,
number one-
it's been
No,
proven.
that's not. Number one, if I didn't do shit to you, why do I need to pay
No.
you some money?
I'm about to tell you why. I'm starting to learn, especially with like celebrities. That's why when they start taking, like, they pay off people and take deals, that don't mean that they're guilty. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's why I keep my head above water about this. Sometimes people just pay them off because it might cost more to take them through trial and all that other stuff than, okay, here's $5 million, leave me the hell alone. You feel what I'm saying? Here, sign this, whatever. Because that's why, if you notice, the second time Michael Jackson got accused, he said, F that, take me to court.
Right.
because he was sick and tired of that nonsense. And the guy, one of the accusers, before killing himself, admitted that he lied.
Yeah,
Don't
and the
you-
guy,
I mean-
Wade, he if you watch like the Neverland documentary,
Yeah,
Oh, I
He
watched that
actually-
shit.
yeah, he said he went to court and testified on Michael Jackson's behalf. If
Yeah.
this man really did something to you, why would you testify on his behalf?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Unless
right.
he got paid off.
And he's like been in so much shit, the guy Wade, because like I follow him because I'm like a big NSYNC fan, and he was the choreograph person at the time. So like he did so much stuff. Like he tried something with Britney Spears before I watched her documentary. Like he's tried to make moves on Britney Spears when she was like 15, 16 years old. But he's not going to put that out there because he wants everybody to think Michael Jackson did something. He wants to hide what he did.
And the piggyback what you said, ma'am. This stuff is not just going on just in WWE. It's going on in entertainment.
Oh yeah, look at T.I.
definitely.
Look at the stuff with T.I. that's coming out now that him and his wife are
They freaks.
supposedly
They
sexually
straight up
assaulting.
freaks.
Mhm.
Yeah, that they're sexually assaulting all these women and everything else now.
No,
Whoa,
no,
whoa, whoa,
you know what bugged me out?
whoa. Wait, what you said? Who again?
T.I. and Tiny. T.I. and
Well, you
Tiny
know,
would have the women in the
T-
room and stuff and lock them in there
Yeah,
and told them
gave
they got to
drugs
get
and
down before they
everything
get
else.
out.
Get down or lay down.
T.I. is the master contradiction, but people, that's none of my business.
No,
though.
I got one crazier than that. What's old boys? I can't remember the guy's name. All right, like I said, I'm a man of a certain age. So remember the TV show Head of the Class?
Yeah.
Remember the
My mom
heavy
used to
set
watch
dude?
it. Yeah.
And then he did all them shows for Nickelodeon. And all
Yeah,
that
Ian
stuff.
Schneider.
Yeah,
He
there
was
you
a
go.
big
Read about him and all the stuff he was doing.
did. If you watch, there's a guy on YouTube. I actually have to send the link to Chris.
Yeah.
There's a guy on YouTube that covers all his stories, and he did stuff too. Jeanette
He did the-
McCarty, Ariana Grande,
Yeah,
like,
and when I'm talking about when they was
bunch of
underage. When they was underage.
and they
Yeah.
were like 14. He had a foot
Yes.
fetish. He was like taking pictures of their feet and
Yeah, he was
all
doing some
different kinds of
freaky
things.
stuff
Like,
to them
he was
kids.
sick.
Yeah,
Wow.
He was
they
sick.
literally
Wow.
I can't
just
even
let him
watch
go a couple years
Nickelodeon.
ago. He was associated with Nickelodeon for like 20 years.
Yeah, my
Doing
kids
some
don't even
freak
watch
stuff.
Nickelodeon because of it.
Yeah.
Like,
I never fucked with Nickelodeon anyway.
No,
They-
but
they-
like when you was watching like iCarly, he was in charge like iCarly
The
and
Girls.
Victorious and all them shows.
Yeah,
He was
all
doing the
that.
freak stuff to them kids.
He did something to Amanda Bynes. That's why she
Amanda
went
Bynes,
crazy.
yeah. That's why that's why a lot of these kids they become adults and they all wilding out right now because of
Like,
stuff that
what's his name? Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for
Corey
I'm waiting for
Feldman,
his documentary to come out.
Yeah,
Mm.
he did. I watched his thing too on YouTube, and he named like Charlie Sheen, saying he raped him with Crisco behind the trailer, and like
Yeah.
all this crazy stuff.
Now let's
And I-
kind of like I know that we kind
We're going off the rails.
Yeah, I know we got
Yeah,
off script
yeah.
or whatever, but like the whole thing, like we're actually clocking in an hour, but we got like a few more minutes. So I just want to talk to you guys about the end game with this whole like secrecy shit. Now, this just didn't happen yesterday. This has been an ongoing thing with the WWE for God knows how long. Now, I guess I want to ask you guys, like, how do we stop this from happening? Like, because it seems like the WWE does not give a fuck. This is the same company that was going to do an incest storyline.
Mm.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, this whole thing with the Velveteen Dream shit, I agree with you, Antoine, that they knew this shit from jump.
Yeah.
They knew this shit from jump. They thought that this shit was going to quiet down, like Hulk Hogan, like, his situation when he called The Rock a nigger, and they thought that was going to boil over. And then at WrestleMania, this past WrestleMania, they booed the living shit out of him because, number one, why in the fuck a KKK Grandmaster is on the blackest fucking WrestleMania of all fucking time?
Because he's Hogan. Well, first of all,
Yep.
What they got to
first
do
of
with
all, and how can I explain it? It's not going to end because WWE is WWE, right? Two, Hogan, that whole situation is disgusting because the only reason he apologized is because the kid he was talking about was a somebody. Look that up. He wasn't no ordinary dude in the street. I think he was a son of a billionaire. That's the reason why he apologized. If he was any old brother in the street, Hogan still probably would have never apologized. And 3, you got paid off that sex tape. After all that, calling people the N-word and all that other stuff, you got paid. You got a settlement off that sex tape. Come on, man. Knock it off. And then when you brought him back, you didn't have no console with none of the black wrestlers. That's why I gave props to the New Day, because they opened their mouth and said, yo, you didn't come to us to bring Hogan back. You know what I'm saying? You got bootlickers like Mark Henry and Booker T, my fault. But,
No, don't say no.
Did Hogan ever get the money though? Because I know after
well, they went bankrupt, of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
who went bankrupt?
The company that bought the tape out.
Yeah, Gawker, the company that put the tape out.
I mean,
As
shit,
soon
I was
as
going
they lost
bankrupt.
the settlement, as soon as they lost the settlement for Hulk Hogan, they wound up filing for bankruptcy.
They filed.
That's why asking if he ever got the
Look how
money.
much he won. He won like $60 million off that joint.
Yeah,
that's why they went bankrupt.
My shit, if I had Hulk Hogan as a lead porno star, I would go bankrupt too.
Yeah, definitely.
The truth.
Like for real, nobody don't want to see his damn shrivel up dick. No one knows. No.
But you know, like I said, back to WWE.
Almost threw up in my mouth.
Listen, WWE knew about Velveteen Dream.
Damn.
They knew about Superfly Snooker.
God damn it, Chris.
You know what I'm saying? They knew about Superfly Snooker. You know what I'm saying? How many wrestlers did they knew about? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But you know what? That whole thing with that whole Owen Hart situation still bothers me to this day.
No. I'm gonna tell you what the sickening part about that joint was, and I heard what got me sick is when I listened to Jericho's podcast with his wife.
Ooh,
and when I found out that WWE sued Martha Hart, that turned my stomach.
Yeah,
I'm like, how in the world you sue the widow?
I
lost all respect for them. Like when they done so much fuck shit. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. But when I found out when it came out of Martha Hart's mouth that y'all sued her, you know what I'm saying? Y'all sued her because she wanted to sue you in Kansas City where the incident happened, and y'all wanted to court in Connecticut so you don't have to pay her anything. I was like, y'all garbage.
And then the fucked up part about it was Jim Ross had the audacity to come to that damn the wake.
But they had to send somebody.
And they had to and they turned his ass right back around. Yeah, it's like, nigga.
No.
Go back.
I feel bad for Jim Ross, because they sent him.
But you know what? Like a dumbass, like he went anyway.
He's an employee. What do you think he's supposed to do?
I mean, he could say no
and not have a job. They fired him for less.
I mean, bro, like at that time, they
fired him for less. Come on, man. And they fired him.
But you know what? Jim Ross is not an angel as well.
No. First of all, who's an angel in wrestling?
Ain't nobody.
Thank you.
But these motherfuckers, they be acting like they are angels. Talk about, I didn't know that this happened or whatever.
No. This is why I give props. This is why I give props to Paul Heyman, because he's no angel, but he tells you about it. He tells you who he is.
You know what? Do you know the one thing about Paul Heyman? He might be a genius on the fucking mic, but when it comes to fucking money, he is trash.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He knows.
Straight trash.
He knows.
You can't sit here and talk about anybody like, you know what I'm saying, don't know how to manage their money. Dude, you took an empire like ECW, something that was revolutionary. You know, something that you could have took to the next fucking level, and yet you just let it go.
No, he didn't let it go. He wasn't built for growth.
Yeah.
He wasn't built for growth.
That's right.
Like if he didn't try to grow ECW would still be alive today. He tried to compete with WWE. Nah, he should have just been ECW.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You should have
saying.
He tried to
You'd
take a
have just
niche
been
federation
ECW.
and compete with somebody on a global scale. It
Yeah.
just didn't work.
It
He
didn't
didn't
work
have
out.
he
You know
didn't
what I'm
have the
saying?
kind of product that could stretch far
Yeah.
enough outside of
Yeah.
the niche he was
Yeah,
in.
yeah, because he didn't have that long-term plan.
And
He
case
didn't
in
have
point,
the-
like I'm
yeah.
glad you said ECW. I'm a hardcore ECW fan. You know what time ECW used to come on here in New York? Like 1:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
We watched that joint. We waited till 1:30, or we taped it. So you had your hardcore fans watching that joint. When you put that
Yeah.
joint on TNN and stuff, that wasn't ECW to me.
Mm,
That was the beginning and the end.
yeah, yeah.
When you finally
Yeah.
got that national deal, that was the beginning of the end. I saw that joint. I was like, this is not going to last too long. Because
Yeah.
now you have corporate entities telling you what they want on your show.
And that's the problem that happened with the WWE. The WWE went.
And that's
to
what
a private
happened.
company.
And
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen with WWE, because WWE is accepting so much. Son, you make fun of Peacock all the time.
I do. I call them
Yeah.
the cock.
Listen, they paid $1 billion for WWE Network, and we ain't got 1/10 of that crap on that joint.
Hey, you know what? Y'all can
And
keep
we're
them
not going to
motherfuckers
get it
too.
either.
You can keep the motherfuckers.
No.
You if you want to, you can see all of that added shit. But you
No,
know what? I
like-
got
like
my
real
collection right over there.
Listen. The real talk. I turned on Peacock for the first time since
Huh?
WrestleMania. Yeah, shut up. I turned Peacock on since the first time in WrestleMania. I was watching Tough Enough, like the first season of Tough Enough. And I'm surprised they had that joint on that joint. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
where's the WCW? Where's the ECW? Where's the Mid South Wrestling? All that is
Man.
gone.
Smoky Mountain,
I'd rather,
WWF, all that
I'd
is
rather
gone.
paid my $9.99 and had the old
The thing.
WWE
Have it
Network.
all.
You know what that was about, man? You know what that was about? I
Money.
worked for a company here in town. Yeah, exactly. I worked for a company here in town and left when I saw the ship going down. And see, what happened is they had a lot of programs that they were running that they bought and tried to recoup and make money off of them, and they mishandled them. So what they wound up doing is they wound up selling them back to somebody else for more money. And that's what WWE did with WWE Network. This pandemic, even though they got the Thunderdome and all that kind of stuff, has hurt them. And what they trying to do is they trying to sell off WWE Network.
No. I beg to differ.
To get out of the red. That's all it is.
No. I beg to differ. Do your homework. WWE made more money during the pandemic than they did in 3 years. That's why I was
everybody
wondering.
was sitting at home.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was wondering why you cutting all these wrestlers away. And you're making more money hand over fist because of your Fox deal, because of Peacock. You're making more money than ever, and you're letting all these wrestlers go.
Because that money ain't going in the business, it's going in their fucking pockets. That's why.
Yeah, it's supposed to go in their pockets.
It's going in their pockets.
Okay.
You talking about why they making money? Hell, if I could sell off some stuff and put more money in my pocket, I would too. The money that you talk about they made for the over the 3 years, that's enough to sustain the business and keep it going. Anything else is residual. You take it, put it in your pocket, and do what you want to do.
And that's corporate America, period. If they can find any way to save some money, that means letting go some motherfuckers that's like, below average. Oh no, I'm saving me.
But this
money
what
coming in
I
my
don't understand
pocket.
though. Okay, this is what I understand though. So when you have wrestlers like AJ Styles and stuff doing their Twitch handles and all that stuff, making money on the side, why are you worried about that? They're making money on the side. They're not making it all for you.
They greedy. They greedy.
No, it got worse. No, you know what? Why it got worse?
Greedy.
Because not only did they were greedy, like you said, they wanted a piece of the action of stuff that had nothing to do with them.
Yes, they did. And you know the wrinkle they use? The wrinkle they use is that you're using the Twitch handle, using the names that we have copywritten. Now, if you want to use Twitch, using your real name, then that's
you can't say that.
But
because,
the thing is, we can't make money off of it. You trying to
Selena Vega was using her real name. Most of these cats was using their real name on Twitch. They wasn't
But they was
using
using WWE too.
Yeah.
They was using WWE.
Yeah.
Well, AJ Styles, but AJ Styles owned his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so that's the only person that used their name. Like Selena Vega was Thea Trinidad on Twitch. That's how we pronounced her. We didn't hit her up as Selena Vega. We just knew her as Thea Trinidad, but we knew who she was.
Right.
But they're gonna say that we own your likeness. That's what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what they're doing to all of the new stars or upcoming stars if like we don't own your shit, we're gonna own your shit when you come into our company. They doing that shit to they tried to do that shit to Cody Rhodes. They did this shit to Dusty Rhodes. Like Dusty.
Yeah, I forgot. I heard that they own Dusty Rhodes' name.
They do.
Yep.
Yo, that's crazy.
The American Dream, the WWE, they own that shit. Yeah.
They own that. Well, I know they own because what's they said that on Busted Open. They own the Dudley boy's name. I was like,
that too.
Demolition's name. That's why Demolition is not in the Hall of Fame now.
Well, Demolition. Well, first of all, Demolition was a creation of WWE, so of course they deserve to own that name.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, because they were supposed to be a knockoff of the Road Warriors. We already know that.
Exactly. Why you think they bring people in and change their names? They change. You can go and wrestle 20 years on the independents with a name that's well known, and you get hired by WWE, and the first thing they're gonna do is change your name because it's something that they can copyright. They're gonna put more energy in your career there for 5 years, more energy, more money, more value, and a whole lot more everything else. So much so that people will forget who you were for the last 20 years. And then when you leave WWE after they give you that 60 and 90 day no non-compete clause, people still gonna have it in your head that that's who you are. Then you got to go back and try to breathe life into this old persona that's been dead for 5 years.
Right.
You know?
That's why I was shocked. Real talk. That's why I was shocked that AJ Styles and Samoa Joe came to WWE as AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. I'm shocked they ain't trying to change their names.
Because they knew what the WWE was on. Because I'm assuming like Samoa Joe has a whole bunch of friends in the business that like he's currently in the WWE. So I know that there's horror stories that, you know, the WWE is trying to own my name, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, I applaud Samoa Joe and AJ Styles for like getting ahead of the game and owning their own shit because the WWE will own you.
They will own you.
Yeah. Yes. Like, because Vince is just a big ass pimp. That's all he is.
Yeah.
He is an old ass fucking pimp that's on his fucking deathbed. And he does not give a fuck about you or his or your family. He does not give a fuck. You come into his company, you is his bitch. And he's gonna fuck you without the damn fucking Vaseline.
Yeah, soon they'll make
my language.
I know. I was about to say. See, but and this is a little funny about it because I'm watching previews of the Ultimate Warrior biography, and I'm like,
I was
like, hold up.
Tonight.
But it gets funnier than that. I was like, hold up. I'm watching how y'all speaking highly of the man, but I bought the DVD, the self-destruction of Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
and y'all buried that man for 2 damn hours. It was the worst, funniest thing I've ever seen.
But okay, so before we go, I want to kind of talk about this a little bit. So this week is basically Warrior Week. Everybody's like, you know, like christening this Warrior Week or whatever. So the first part was on AE, saying talk about the autobiography of or the life of the Ultimate Warrior, and then the Dark Side of the Ring, which I believe is coming this Thursday.
Yeah.
I think that one's going to be a little bit more gritty because if I'm not mistaken, Miss Warrior has some issues with Dark Side of the Ring for portraying her to be a hoe.
Oh wow!
All right.
So I'm going to be watching that.
Shoe fits?
I mean, like
the shoe fits.
I mean,
the shoe fits?
I mean, if she just as a hoe, if she just much of a hoe like Stephanie, I'm ready for this shit.
Hold up, I'm just saying, like, I had to bring it up, like I was telling my girl, I was like, you notice half these wrestlers who's married Nitro girls, but I'm just gonna keep that there. You know what I'm saying? We leave that alone. I could name like 3 or 4 wrestlers that marry Nitro girls. Like, really? What's up with these Nitro girls?
Booker T.
Shawn Michaels,
Diamond Dallas Page,
Shawn Michaels,
Nacho Man or Macho Man.
Was she a Nitro girl?
No. I was talking about little Miss Elizabeth or whatever, but she was going around. She was already sleeping around.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think yes.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, I don't get off the subject. Mm-hmm. Did you see the episode I told you about North Korea?
I did. We talked about
Was
that
that
last
crazy?
night. That was
Watched it.
insane. Like that was insane. Like I, you know, a part of me want to interview Eric Bischoff. Like seriously, like he's literally on my bucket list. Like it's really cool that I have connections. If I really
you could
want
do
to
that,
get
it's
my
a
hands
wrap,
on
man.
him, if I can get my hands on him, I really want to. Cause like, I have so much fucking respect for Eric Bischoff. I didn't watch WCW, but just looking at his legacy, I mean, he did a lot of shit for the business. For someone that just was a commentator, a producer, and then rose. Like, you know what I'm saying? Going up the rankings and becoming an owner and just changing the landscape of the business. I mean, like, he's legendary. But we cannot ignore the fact that he have done some dumbass shit like this Russo.
That was one of them.
That shit right there, I'm like, bro, you took them to enemy lines? Like, you took them to...
Check this out. I don't think they got paid for that. I don't think WCW got paid for that.
They didn't.
They did?
No, I don't think they got paid for that. I think they did that on the strength of Antonio Inoki.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah, they didn't
wait.
WCW didn't get paid for it.
We
and the
think
show
that's
was
why
free.
Hogan didn't go. He didn't get paid.
Wait, okay. So it must have been at least about 20 of them that went
because
over.
like I said, I used to watch WCW back then.
And you telling me they were working? They were terrorized for 4 fucking days.
Yeah,
and did not get compensated at all.
Case in point, like I was
they lucky
saying,
they got out
I used to
alive.
watch WCW. I used to watch WCW back then, and back then they used to have a real close relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right.
That's how I found out about like Muda and all these other cats. They were from New Japan. So
that's around the time of the Battle Bowl.
and who, at that time, did Inoki own? I don't think he owned New Japan. I think he owned All Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh no! Yeah. So they did that on a humble for him. Because matter of fact, if you watch the documentary, it wasn't his idea. It was Inoki's idea.
Oh, it was Inoki's idea.
It was it was Inoki's idea, and he came up to Bischoff. He's like, "Y'all got this idea? Can you?" Because they was exchanging talents anyway. Because like Scott Norton and stuff, I remember him from New Japan. He used to wrestle New Japan a lot, and all that stuff.
Scott Norton was such a pussy dude. Like, I mean, not to be disrespectful, like, you know that I love the guys in the business or whatever. I do. But it's just sometimes, like, you just have to call a spade a spade. Like, this man was a fucking pussy. No. Hold on, no. Like, when I was looking at that documentary, this man made sure to say that, Scorpio was, he was beating his ass and shit.
Oh,
he talking about if he would have did such and such.
If he was on his medication, he would have killed him.
Animal would have beat his ass. I'm like, dude, Scorpio is crazy. I mean, like, every time he was talking about something, his eyes will buck. Like, he was just like, he was talking about, he was ready to kill that nigga. For real.
That really ticked me off, man. When Scott Norton went that and when all the stuff, Scorpio was like, well, me and Hawk had to fight and all that kind of stuff. And it's like Scott Norton reached in his back pocket and was like, well, Hawk was on medication and this, that, and the third. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Hawk have a reputation of doing drugs anyway?
And wasn't he had a reputation of being a racist?
I was about to say that. I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
So I mean, like, if he took a L, he just took a L. Don't try to give him an
he got his ass whooped on that damn bus.
That's like saying Steve Williams had a twisted ankle when he lost the brawl for all.
No.
You just caught a bad one. That's it.
If you notice, a lot of these wrestlers don't give some of these wrestlers, especially some of these black wrestlers, they respect. Like the Two Cold Scorpios, like the Bad News Brown. Remember when Brad News Brown stepped up to Andre the Giant?
Yeah.
People don't talk about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He punked that Andre the Giant.
A lot of what I hear, like Bad News Brown, Junkyard Dog, Two Cold Scorpio. It's like those legends, even to go so far, Ron Simmons, they don't give them the no respect
don't
at all. And the last time I talked to Ron Simmons was at a convention, and I told him, I said, dude, like we had a conversation for at least a good 10 minutes. And I told him, I said, like, dude, like you are the first African American world champion, and like they treat you like shit. And like I don't understand that.
It's not that they treat him like shit. It's like, yo,
no, they treat him like shit.
No.
I mean,
there were certain people
that he went to the damn WWE.
No, talk about. Oh, you talk about the company. I'm talking about the actual wrestlers. Wrestlers knew who not to fuck with. Ron Simmons was one of them cats. They know not to mess with that cat. Just like it's 2021. Put respect in his name. Like how y'all talk about Haku and how he's one of the baddest cats on the planet.
Oh yeah.
Talk about Ron Simmons like that. Talk about
around here.
Like that.
Around here, you don't have to worry about that about Ron Simmons because I live like an hour away from Warren Robins, Georgia, where he is. Yeah. So trust me, he get plenty of respect around here.
Yeah.
But as far as like worldwide, global respect, man, Haku got it on lock.
Thank you, son. I'm still hearing stories about Haku. I'm like, what he did? What?
Yeah, I heard he was crazy. Haku was crazy.
Yeah,
and he was Stevie Ray was was it Stevie Ray was talking? Was it Haku? Yeah, when he talked about the tongue and death grip was real, and he saw him put him in. Oh man, I saw that interview. I was like, he did what? Yo, yeah. Next time you talk to Stevie Ray, ask him about the South Dakota bar incident with Haku when he grabbed the dude by the neck.
Yeah, I'll put that on my.
Because he said that in the interview, I was like, he did what? And he's like,
I think, and they said that the dude is pretty funny. Like,
yeah. Oh, you said when he's cool, when he's calm.
Yeah, but when he snaps.
Yeah, and who said that? What's his name? Also, the Barbarian. It's the same way, and the only person he's scared of to this day is his wife. Like, wow, that's deep. Like, this dude is running around knocking cats' heads off, and the only person he's scared of is his wife. That's a G right there.
Yeah, because he had, you know what? Never mind. Anyway, so everyone, thank you. Well, first of all, to my guests, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your stories and your comments about this. This has been really, really awesome. So everyone, let's get where we can find you guys at. Marie, you're first. Ladies first. Where can they find you?
Facebook. I'm on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. Where they can find you under what handle?
Oh, under my name, Marie Burney.
Okay. Antoine?
All right, you can find me on Instagram at My Greatest Enemy. My Greatest Enemy.
I don't even want to ask Velvet because, he's like popping up everywhere, but I'll just ask him anyway. Where can they find you, Mr. Velvet?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at Velvet478. And you can find me on Twitch at that same deal too.
I'm gonna follow you on Twitch right now, son.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, can I say one more thing on this Valentine Dream thing real quick?
Yeah.
Also, like, a lot of people, like, I understand, like, the wrestlers are growing and they shouldn't, but coming from a parent's perspective, because I'm a mother of 2 kids, I think parents should handle their kids' social media and be, like, I'm always in my son's phone. He's getting ready to be 13, and I'm always in his phone. Like, all his stuff is logged into my phone. I can see what he does. And I think a lot more parents should be hands-on like that. So something like this where, if he did send a dick pic, which they have proof, so he did it, a parent can say, okay, well, why is this in your phone? And as a parent, if you see that, you go to the authorities and say, this person is doing this, so it could be handled, no matter who it is. Like, I know there was, like, accusations against, when that thing when Enzo happened, or James Ellsworth, like, the girl James Ellsworth, she was 14 years old. Where were your parents at? That's my thing. And that's what it is. Like, as a parent, I think, the parents should be on their kids as much, but the adults, the wrestlers, celebrities, like, they shouldn't do it at all. Like, it's not right. But the parents should be more inactive in their kids' life and say, okay, well, you're doing this. You shouldn't be inboxing a grown man whether you're a fan or not. Post it on the wall. Don't inbox them.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what it is?
Great advice.
You know, and it's very hard because, like, I'm a parent too. Some of these kids we get like 5 or 6 different Instagram accounts.
Oh yeah, my
Like
son
different-
tried that, and they all got blocked.
Huh?
And my son tried that with 4 or
Yeah.
5 different Instagram accounts, and they all got blocked.
Yeah.
He got in trouble,
Yo, got
And he has
ghost
one-
emails now. Yo, they got ghost emails. I'm like,
and they have
damn.
things where you can hide it, like Facebook. They have the Vanish messages.
Vanish
now.
mode, right?
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
that till the other
Mhm.
night. Me and one of my friends were having a conversation, and like his messages kept disappearing, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?"
I'm serious. Like, you know, Facebook is trash too.
Yeah,
They
They
coming
are
up with different. I mean, I'm serious. They coming up with different methods not to get caught.
Mhm.
So when you
Or when
put
you
your
say
dick in
something
somebody,
like,
so when you put your dick in somebody's mouth, just go on vanish mode.
Right, like I see, like if you post things about like the like I had posted something about, you know, they had this big where they busted a sex trafficking of minors, and I had shared it on Facebook, and my account got blocked for like 3 days, and I'm like, you really blocked me for making parents of aware of what's going on.
Yeah,
Like,
they got
so
a lot
even
of
social
different things they're
media
doing.
tries to cover up a lot of the stuff going on too.
And
They really do. They really
and they
do.
try to say that they're trying to protect us,
Us,
but
yeah.
then yet they're adding like tools where they can cover shit up. Like
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
a big contradiction. That's basically
Yep.
what it is. But everybody, we gotta go. I will personally see the crew. We'll see you guys on Sunday. We'll have more information on our sweepstakes and giveaways and all that good shit. Until that time, I'm your host, Mr. T. Briggy. Y'all have a wonderful night. God bless. Peace.
Please.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.